everyone, how's it going? Vasco here from the Angular University. In this lesson we're going to learn how to add error handling to our NGRX application. So let's get started. In order to add error handling, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to trigger an error whenever we are doing a call to the server. So let's say that, for example, whenever we send a message, let's say that an error occurred. We would like this error to be handled, and we would like that here some error message would be displayed on the screen. Let's see how can we implement this. First, let's switch back to our server, and we are going to look here in our API of our server. We are going to look for the method that inserts a new message in the in-memory database. So it's this method API save new message. What we're going to do here is we are going to simply throw an error. So we are going to hard code an error in order to simulate an error scenario. So we are going to simply say here that the message is error occurred. And we have here unreachable code. So again, TypeScript is telling us that this code will not be executed. Let's just highlight it, and with Command Shift+, let's comment it out for the moment. Now what we will do is we are going to restart our API server so that our changes are applied. Now let's see what is the current behavior of the application at this stage. We are going to select user Alice, for example, and with right-click inspect, we are going to open here the console so that we can see what is going on. Now let's try to send a new message. If we hit enter, we are going to get here an error, cannot read property message IDs of undefined. Let's see what happened on the server. We have here an error. If we click into the line of the stack trace, the first line, we are directed to our throw new error. So our error scenario is happening as one would expect. Now what we're going to do is we are going to catch this error and we are going to handle it on the front end. So let's see how can we catch this error. Let's switch back to the code to our write new message effect service. So what is going on here is that whenever we detect a send new message action, we are going to do a switch map to this call save new message. This is going to send an HTTP post request to the server with a new message. Now this HTTP call here will trigger an observable. This observable will either emit only one value and then complete, or it will throw an error and then complete. Either way, this stream is going to be terminated. Now what we're going to do here is, if the stream is terminated with an exception, we are going to create a new observable that will resume here our RxJS observable chain. And that observable, what it will do is it will trigger a new action that will dispatch to the store. And the store, in response to that action, will notify the error handling component that is going to display the error. So let's start by removing here dispatch to false, and the way that we are going to transform this stream that ended in error into a new stream, we are going to use the RxJS catch operator. So as usual, let's not forget to go to our main.ts and import this new operator. So this is the statement to import the catch operator. Again, without this statement, this code will not work at runtime. Now what we're going to do here is we are going to emit a new action, but we need to create an observable, right? Because this is expected to be an observable. So this stream here failed, this call here emitted an error and then completed, and because it completed in error, the catch operator is going to initialize a new stream. So we need to create here a new observable. What we're going to do here is we are going to use the observable of operator. This operator allows us to create observables from all sorts of inputs. For example, DOM elements, etc. So in this case, we are going to create an observable that will only emit one value. So the value will be the new action. Now let's switch back to the actions file and let's quickly define here a new action. We are going to call it error occurred action, which will implement the action interface. So we have started by defining here on top of our file a new constant, error occurred action. Now let's use it here to populate the type property. And now let's define the payload of this action. So as usual, we should define the payload as optional. And in this case, the payload of the action will be the error message, so simply a string. So now let's take the new action class that we have just defined and we are going to use it here inside observable of. So what this will do is it will create an observable that will emit a unique value, which is the action itself. Let's import it with Alt-Enter and have a look at the import statement. So here it is. And over here we are going to simply say that error occurred while saving message. So this is the string that should be displayed on the screen. But the question now is, where should it be displayed on the screen? Because we have not defined any component that would display this. And even before that, we have not yet defined what is the reducing logic of this action. So let's start with that.